least now I know how that keeps happening. Oh, why my stomach feel weird? Dead. I keep forgetting that's dead. Hey, hi, hello. I am back, and there are zeros in that hour counter, baby. We have less than 1 hour left before I can take this VR headset off. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't counting down the minutes. I am absolutely excited to be over this experiment. Um, I did manage to sleep a little bit last night. Couple hours, not a lot, just enough to kind of power me through and get me going. And the headset didn't die all night. I managed to keep it charged one way or another. So, complete 24 hours in VR. I'm pretty happy. It's not complete yet. We still got 53 minutes left. So, fingers crossed. I'm kind of writing up some final thoughts and some notes because I figured here, maybe in the last half an hour, 20 minutes or so, I would share my thoughts with you and kind of let you know where I'm at the end of this 24 hours. And then, yeah, when it gets to 8 a.m. local time, when that thing hits zero, we'll see the real world. I'll turn this off, give it a well-deserved break after 24 hard hours of labor, and yeah, we'll see things with our real eyes again. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, just counting down the time, writing down, typing out my final thoughts here. Listening to some Gordon Ramsay here. Getting hyped up maybe for a little breakfast. We're doing it, baby. We're rounded in. Yeah, we hit the group chat. Glad I'm writing these thoughts down as I'm like, instead of just trying to do stream of consciousness like I originally was going to do, because I mean, a lot of it I've already said over the course of the last 24 hours, but just being able to put it all down on a kind of like an outline is really. I'm, I'm, I'm being more cohesive. You guys are going to get more out of the conclusion, I think, as a result. Uh, my my poker finger is getting tired. Hey, hello to whoever's watching. Welcome back to the conclusion of the 24 hours. We got less than an hour left, looking like 46 minutes and some change. And I'll have done it. I'll have successfully completed my 24 hours. I'm actually just kind of typing out my notes right now so I can here in maybe 15, 20 minutes or so give my final thoughts, kind of give a wrap up on everything I've learned so far, if you could call it that. Yeah, just typing my thing out. Feel free to say hey in the chat too. Say hello, good morning, and cheer me on through the last not even hour, 45 minutes. We're in the forget single digits. We're in the not digits. Couldn't be more excited if you can't tell. right, guys. I'm got 40 minutes left. We're finishing up. It's almost 8 a.m. again on Thursday. Just can't believe time. Like, let's go see. I think I've got most of my notes there. Let me go watch something besides Gordon Ramsay here and see. Who knows? Maybe I'll shake something loose as far as collecting my thoughts. But overall, I pretty much got it. Oh, I think I hear movement too. I might not be the only one who's awake right now. Because my amazing wife, in addition to literally all the other awesome stuff that she did, also called into work and is going to work an hour late just so I can make this a clean 24 hours. Where is a good video to finish up on? I mean, Gordon was working because it's just like bingeable, you know? Like, Gordon Ramsay's real easy to just play. It's just like, I don't know. Visit a Pokemon card warehouse? That could be cool. Give that a shot. Battery's not charging super quick, but it is holding up. Yeah, we're counting it down. We're almost done. And yeah, like I said, I hope that my mic is working. I'm pretty sure that it is because I can see it working on the audio mixer. But same as yesterday, if there's any issues at all, definitely feel free to let me know. So, do I have to redo this chat thing? I just realized I might. Okay, Hermes, my chat was not updating to OBS, so I'm glad I came over here and checked. Yeah, it was. I like ended it just because I went to sleep in a different room and it felt like stupid. The nap was good. Like, you see, I can turn my mic volume up a little bit. Hopefully, not cause an echo. What? How do I adjust this dock now that it's not saying the right stuff? Can I just pop it open? Do I have to just do another one maybe? What? Chat is not disabled for this stream. What is going on? Yeah, it's definitely good enough for typing. I can see my keyboard just fine. Like, I can totally type away. No problems. I'm going to turn my video down that I'm watching over in the corner. I'm just going to pop out the chat and have it over here. Because I'm not going to share my screen anymore, and that's easier. Well, I mean, easier is relative, maybe, but... So, like, can you not hear me at all, or is it just quiet? Yeah, here, I'll dial the gain right back up, but it's where it was yesterday, so I don't know why my equipment is just randomly changing. I mean, Henry, I'll turn it all the way up to start with and see, is it echoing now? Is it? Because that's why I turned it down to start with, because that was what we determined was causing the echo somehow. I'll be honest, I was worried about it just not, like, wanting to work, because after, like, the hot mic situation last night, I just, like, unplugged it. There we go. Let me turn it down. I'll try to find a balance between being able to hear me and not echoing like crazy. So just keep letting me know where we're at and if we hit that balance. But yeah, so there we go. I've got it set at maybe like 75% right now instead of like at its lowest it was at maybe 30%, and then yeah, I turned it up to 100, which you said was better but echoing. So hopefully I can find like a sweet spot. Alright, cool. Yeah, I won't mess with it anymore then. See, I gotta move my my spatial tablet over because I decided to get collect my thoughts together, and you know, kind of I thought instead of just going off the dome, especially since it's a little bit roasted after 24 hours in this thing. Oh God, imagine that. Everybody's freaking out about 5G and stuff. I probably have mega brain cancer now. Like, I didn't even think about that, but, you know, it's too late now. We're 23 and a half hours in. I already fucking sent it, boys. I mean, I don't feel it yet. I honestly, I have been mowing down on the painkillers, but like ibuprofen and stuff. Nothing too cool. Um, but I'm honestly not as sore as I thought I was going to be. I think a lot of that was because I did take it easy on myself. Like, I could have been doing more games and probably been more distracted, but I think the outcome, like the trade-off, is that I would have, I would have also worn myself out faster. I would be more uncomfortable, and I might not have made it the full 24. So I'm not worried about eye deformation necessarily because, like, I mean, as I've brought up before, J Brat was kind of like my rock in all of this, and he did it for 10 days with a headset that has worse resolution and worse lenses. And he got an eye exam before and after, and then like 6 months after the 10 days, and there was no change at all that was detectable. They said that it really wasn't that different. Now, as far as eye strain goes, yeah, I've got a little bit of eye strain. I think I'm probably gonna have to deal with that for the rest of the day, at least for the next 24 hours, because yeah, I can read stuff, but I have to look at it at just the right depth, and then I do have to squint just a little bit. Unless the lighting is super bright, which most of the lights aren't in my house, the pass-through is fuzzy. Like, it's workable, but it's not human eye resolution by any means. So, I'm used to seeing things in a grainy way. But exactly, yeah, science. Just thought of something to add to my notes here while we're chopping it up. Riveting content right here. Touch somewhere to make the keyboard go away. There we go. That way I don't accidentally type something I don't mean to. But yeah, man, I'm just like, honestly, more emotional than I expected. Like, I thought it was just going to be like a purely scientific thing, but like, there's a lot, a lot going on. I feel like I was doing a good job. I feel like things were working good. I see it's my bit rate down there, and also dropped frames, which are maybe not in the best order. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. Will I ever do this again is a question that I ask myself, and I don't know. Probably not. I would need like a really good reason to, or at the very least, maybe a little bit better like structure. Because I did kind of just jump. Like, I thought about it a lot. I've been thinking about it for 2 years, I guess, total, since I wanted to do it in one form or another since I got a Quest. But I did kind of just maybe go into it guns blazing. There's some stuff I didn't, like, consider, which made it more of a challenge and less of an experiment. And I guess that's, like, one of the big takeaways, which I can just start getting into right now. But yeah, I didn't really expect this to be a challenge when I first started it. I thought it was just gonna be a fun thing. I was just gonna hang out and be with my friends in VR and play a bunch of games and stuff. And it was just gonna be a good old time, which it was all of that. But it also was a lot more. It was like a lot of real like focus and determination. It was It was easier and harder than I thought, basically. Like, there were definitely parts of it that were a lot more challenging than I expected, especially towards the beginning. Uh, I'm excited to be done. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not. I don't know what it would take, like what the dollar amount of money that you would have to give me to be like, hey, go for another 24 hours because this was rough. It was fun and I learned a lot, but my body is sore. It's not as sore as I thought it was going to be. Like I said earlier, my neck is like I was using that goofy neck pillow. I laid down on the couch and was like been stretching as much as I can. Like I think because I actively managed my body and my soreness, I think I was able to get through it pretty easily. It got easier the further I got, so for sure the first couple hours were like the most taxing mentally, which I think is interesting because like I play a couple hours in VR all the time, but just the head game of knowing that like this is only the first couple hours. It's not just play a couple hours and go back to whatever you're doing. Like really messed with me at first, but then like I would just be like, oh, you just got to get to this time, and that'll be the quarter point and the half point. And then as I just kept passing those milestones, it felt like it got like easier and easier to the point where now I'm in hindsight with 23 minutes left on the clock, and I'm like, wow, it kind of feels like it flew by. Like yesterday kind of feels like a blur. It wasn't. It did not fly by. It was rough. It was a blur, but it wasn't an easy one. Suffice to say it for sure. I think part of that is just because being in VR, like, we've discussed this a little bit before, it just messes with how your memories encode. Because, like, I know, like, objectively that I'm sitting in a room with a headset on, but then, like, I'm doing all these experiences and having all of this stuff. So just having the headset on the whole time and, like, mixing that, I'm, like, my brain is having a hard time, like, parsing through that memory of, like, what was real? Was any of it real? Was it all a game? Was it all real? I said during the live stream a lot, and I definitely feel at the end of it, that it would have been easier if I had done it a year ago. I didn't have a baby in the house, and I had a little bit more enthusiasm for VR at the time, which I think both of those things would have been hugely helpful in this 24-hour challenge as far as, like, you know, hanging out and doing stuff. And to be clear, I'm still very enthusiastic about VR. Obviously, I was willing to wear a Quest 3 for 24 hours. But it's not, everything doesn't feel new. It's not as, like, shiny, you know? The glam is worn off a little bit. And so, like, instead of thinking about how cool playing this game is, or wow, it feels so immersive, or like Asgard's Wrath 2 is such a huge scale of game, I was like, I kind of miss my son, you know? I want to see him with my own eyes, not just through pass-through. I want him to look at me and recognize me instead of, like, having this goofy look on his face because I look like this, honestly. I deserve to be looked at in a goofy way. But I think overall, like, stepping back and looking at it, the challenge wasn't being in VR. It was being in this office, in this room, for the better part of 24 hours. It was really the challenging part, because I felt surprisingly isolated. And part of that's my fault. I could have went on VR chat more. I could have done more social stuff and got that social kick kind of going. But I feel like I would have fatigued myself faster. And if I had done that, I might not have been able to finish out the 24 hours. Some of those 10-minute breaks where I would just go out and talk to my wife and see the baby, watch some TV pass through in my living room, those were like breaths of fresh air in the middle of this 24 hours, just because there were people and it was social. I think if I was going to do 24 hours in VR again, I wouldn't be able to stream it like this in a room. I would have to be able to wander around, because being able to be in my kitchen, to be in the living room, to go from here, there, stand up, lay down, interact with people, especially with pass-through that makes it possible, it would have been a lot easier. And towards the end of the day, when people were showing up, you know, after getting off work and starting to join in with the festivities, time flew by. Like, and on that note, I guess this is like a great opportunity to give a huge thanks to everyone who did show up and help out with the stream, whether it was like in person or troubleshooting it or saving my mental saving my mental health by just talking to me in chat and just keeping stuff going back and forth, you know. Obviously, the biggest shout out is to my wife, Aurora. I've said it a bunch of times over the course of this 24 hours, and I gotta say it again. She babysat our son and me in VR for 24 hours, which is going above and beyond. Like, and I did require some babysitting. This would have been very hard to do on my own with no outside assistance at all in a physical sense. Like, she cooked for me, she made food, she helped me with, like, a lot of various miscellaneous things that might have motivated me to take the headset off just because it was too frustrating. So, love you. Hermes, Morpheus, Tony, Dr. Chungus, all of my friends who showed up and hung out in VR and you know, had a great time and really shared my virtual birthday with me. Everyone who gave me birthday wishes, I really appreciate them as well. Of course, the chat MVP, Simon Says VR, single-handedly kept me going for some of the hardest parts of this challenge in the headset. Just having someone to talk to, being able to just kind of prattle on about my opinions and what's going on, it made it feel normal. And so I got to give a big shout out to Simon Says VR, as well as everyone else who participated in the chat. You know, there was a lot of people coming in and out, including some of the people who we ended up meeting up with later. You guys are all amazing, and I love you. I do also want to give a quick shout out to JBrat VR. His 10 days in VR video motivated me to be able to finish the full 24. Because as we talked about, like, there was the science behind the safety. Oh man, less than 20 minutes left now. And just the motivation to be like, man, if he could do 10, then I can do 24 hours. Like, and that's part of the reason I'm saying I can't. I'm at, like, for me, it got easier as it went on, and I know he says that in his video too, but that's like days in, and I don't know that I could stick with it for this long, especially like the sleeping part. I got maybe a few hours of sleep, like just enough to feel like somewhat refreshed. Another huge takeaway that I have is just how good the quest pass-through is. Like, it's not perfect. It's not like retina eye quality, like, oh, everything feels like it's real life. Like I said, it's grainy, especially in lower lights. I had to leave the light on in my kitchen all night just so I could control stuff while I was asleep. Or laying in bed, I mean. So it's not perfect, but it's good. I can lean forward and squint and read chat. I can see my OBS controls enough to switch between scenes and do stuff. Set up the screen sharing. I can read my watch, you know. So all the basic things, it didn't hinder me as much. It's not easy. Like I said, it doesn't look good, and I'm definitely, eye strain is going to be one of the things that I'm coming away from this with. Absolutely 100%, no doubt. I don't think it's going to be permanent. I'm not worried about that. I think I'll probably just have crazy, because like, and I assume everything's going to look super HD, right? It'll be like the Unreal 5 update for my fucking face. And I think in some ways the Quest 2 might have actually been a superior choice for this challenge. Where is it up there? Yeah. I think in some ways the Quest 2 might have been a superior choice to this challenge just because the pass-through was not as good. So I wouldn't have been in it as often, and I would have immersed myself in different, environments or in games, in things. Because I found, especially like in the middle of it, where the eye strain was like really starting to get to me, just getting out of pass-through and going and sitting in a theater, or even just sitting in the home environment in Meta Quest, was like a lot easier on my eyes than trying to deal with just being in pass-through 100% of the time. But the pancake lenses and the resolution is also so much better on the Quest 3 that I think it's probably worth the trade-off. Given the opportunity, and I was given the opportunity, I have a Quest 2 and a Quest 3, I think the Quest 3 is the superior option. If any of you are trying to spend 24 hours in VR for whatever reason, yeah, I think between the two of them, the Quest 2 and the Quest 3 is going to be the better one, the better option for anyone who's trying to go 24 hours in VR, if you're crazy enough to do that. Uh, I found a nice little home environment of like the western town. It's the only one they have at night, but it was a really nice nighttime thing. It was very mellow and chill, hanging out in a western town, watching floating gigantic YouTube videos. It was kind of surreal, and when this gets made into a video, I will put a picture in here so you can kind of see what I was looking at, and enjoy it along with me. Another big part of this 24 hours in VR was not only a challenge to me, but a challenge to this head strap. This is the KK Cobb VR battery strap for the Quest 3. I believe it's the battery strap Pro is what they call it. And we're going to be doing a review on it soon, so watch out on the channel for that. But I figured what better way to test it out for comfort and durability, for anything that you could want in a headset, including the battery performance, than wearing it for 24 hours in VR. And I gotta say, I'm first impressions, which at this point is a lot more hours than I put on most headsets, or my first impression, which at this point is more hours than I put on most head straps, is good. It's really good. It works great. It was as comfy as I literally could have hoped for. All of these adjustment points of different parts and areas and hinges made it really easy to not like develop hot spots. So if something was getting sore or sweat was building up, I could adjust it just a little bit to try to get wind in there, to try to take pressure off wherever it needed. When I was sleeping, I was able to move this back cap up a little bit, so I wasn't laying on this gigantic thing. That being said, it wasn't the best for sleeping. It's not super comfortable just because of how big. I mean, look at it. It's a chunk. And it's not made for sleeping. They've never one time advertised it for sleeping as far as I've seen. They advertise it for a lot of other stuff, and we're going to test that stuff in our review. But sleeping is not one of them. So the fact that it works at all, I'm pretty happy with. Same thing with the battery. The battery works great. It charges fast. I'm already on my third dot after it being depleted this morning when I plugged it back in. So that's been not even 2 hours, and we're more than halfway charged. I'd say it takes about 2 hours to charge so far in my experience, but, we'll time that too. And it works great. It does a great job of keeping the Quest 3 at, like, when it's charged up, it keeps it there, and when it's low, it does give more battery. You end up with more battery than you had before you stuck that on. It does a good job of depleting the battery pack instead of your internal battery, I guess is the best way to put it. I am going to be getting another one of them because that would have been... You could play for hugely extended amounts of time. I could have done a third of the challenge on battery alone, probably, without ever needing to plug in like I am here. I probably also didn't need to plug in as often as I did. I was just real paranoid about it dying in the middle on me because this thing loves to suck battery, and it's hot. After being on for 24 hours, this thing is warm. It is definitely... It's been working good. It's been a stress test for the Quest 3, too, so... I'm proud of it. It's been a soldier, and yeah, so that's really kind of my thoughts. The last one that occurred to me as I was typing this with the window open, watching the sunrise, is it doesn't compare to watching the sunrise with your actual eyes at all. It kind of sucked, actually. It was just kind of a gradient scale where it got brighter. I couldn't... Of all the things that I learned in 24 hours in VR, some things you gotta just see with your real eyes, man. Spatial computing is cool, and the idea of just having this clear ghost tablet that I can just take with me and pop up wherever I go, like, it feels like the next evolution to a cell phone. But this is too much. Once they get the smart glasses form factor figured out, people will be wearing these all the time. Even like this, with the Apple Vision Pro and a bunch of other stuff, people are wearing them, like, they will be wearing them more and more, I promise you. But probably not every day, and probably not for 24 hours. I guess just another thought that occurred to me. I think if I was to do anything different for next time, or if I had any recommendations for anyone else who wanted to try doing 24 hours in VR, make sure that you got like plenty of easy food and water ready to go. But the main thing, I think I should have done like some conditioning, because I used to play VR. That's why I said it would have been easier a year ago, because I was playing VR 3, 4, 5 days a week, a couple hours at a time. Since I've had the baby and been watching the baby, it's really hard to, even as good as the Quest 3 pass-through is, it's hard to watch the kid and do anything meaningful in virtual reality, which is why my lovely wife watched him. So I'm like out of shape. My neck, I feel like, is got sore quicker than I expected it to. Like I said, I was actively thinking about the amount of activity that I was going to do, so I didn't strain myself too much. So I think maybe taking 2 weeks beforehand to like ramp up your VR usage before you go for that full 24 would be some good advice. We've got less than 10 minutes left, guys. We are officially in the single minute digits now, and I could not be more excited. Let's get some hype in the chat about it. I don't even know if anyone's here. I'm seeing zeros on my end, but no matter what, let's get some hype going. I've got some hype going. I've got a Red Bull here to give me the energy to keep going for these next 8 minutes and 53 seconds. I'm excited too, doing this for 24 hours, just being in this and seeing some of the things that you can do with it that I didn't think about before. Like, I never thought about, you can use this for a camera. It seems so obvious, right? It's got cameras. But I can literally hold out a physical thing in real life and say, take a picture, or I can hit the picture button, and it does. And then that's saved in my photos. And so, like, I did that when I was watching movies. I have a list of movies that I, like, are on my to-watch list, just a little sticky note. And instead of bringing it with me or trying to memorize it, I literally just held it out and took a picture, and then I can refer to the picture in my headset, which is super cool. Like, I think for filming, like POV, like GoPro type stuff, this is gonna be like next level. So I've got some cool ideas on that. Good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
Excited that there's 9 minutes left, 8.5 minutes left.
Yeah, we're at 7.5 right now.
Cool.
We're almost done, and then so basically I kind of wrapped up my final thoughts already, so we're just kind of hanging out, twiddling the time down until 8 when I can take this thing off and finally relieve myself. And then I figured I would say goodbye to you, and you would head off to work.
Yeah, well, I need to get ready for work, so.
Well, right, so
yeah,
I guess close the door and have fun getting ready for work.
Yeah, it sounds good. The kid. Yeah.
Are you? I mean, I've got 7 minutes left, and then I will be all over the kid.
We're on the same place.
That's in my notes.
I love you.
I love you too.
It's a B, man.
Great. Going back to fatherhood real quick. Alright guys, this is it. This is the last little bit, I guess. I don't know what else to do. I'll open up Instagram for a while and flip through. That was where we started yesterday, in a way, so it seems poetic to end it there. At this point, I'm anxiously watching the clock, you know. I'm counting it down. I don't see the purpose in staying for 24 hours and 3 minutes, you know. We've noticed unusual activity from your account and need to make sure that you're you. Well, yeah, it's because for one day I was using my Instagram account entire. Would be unusual if you ever watched, since I usually use my phone. So good on you, Facebook or Meta or whatever. You're right, that is unusual activity for me. Man, Instagram is just choking, so I guess we're not doing Instagram then. It might be poetic, but it's not what is up. Go watch some YouTube shorts then instead, I think, probably. Oh, of course, we're right. We're counting down right at the end, and YouTube's gonna throw a fit about the internet. Which is connected to the right access point. The access point that's been working the entire time. Alright, well, I can turn shorts off. I'll do everything I can to try to preserve some bandwidth here and make it go as good as it can for you guys and not so choppy. I make no promises that that will work, but I will try. Alright, it didn't seem to make a huge difference, but... Wow, this is 27. That can't be right. Like... What do you mean no data? Why are you saying no data? Oh god, that was terrifying. Why would you do that? Why would you do such a thing? Oh man, under 5 minutes now. Under 5 minutes, guys. I cannot wait. I couldn't be more excited, to be honest with you. Which is like... I don't know. I don't think I like ruined it. I'm not like, oh no, now I'll never want to be on VR again. Like I'll dread putting the headset on. It's gonna take me a couple of days, I bet, before I hop back into it. But nah, it'll be like I in a weird way, I feel like I've grown as a person as a result of this. And that's why it turned into more of a challenge than an experiment. Like I just wanted to know certain things about VR and about the headset, and instead I ended up learning certain things about myself. Oh guys, we are so close. So close I could taste it. Maybe that's just delicious peach Red Bull, but we're right there, man. Like I said, at this point, I'm just watching the clock. I don't have anything else to say. I don't know if anybody is in here watching the clock with me. I guess I can. Like I said, since I'm not using this monitor anymore, I can just drag everything over here. Yeah, there we go. Can have everything right there. And I'm not gonna get fancy and try to like time it or anything. I'm just gonna turn the headset off when it actually gets to 0. So, which is gonna be so soon. Nah, it's not exactly entertaining. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what to say. What can I say that hasn't already been said? Happy 30th birthday to me, I guess, you know? Like, this has been... one of my big things is that I just wanted to do something that I've never done before and that I've always wanted to do. And nailed it. Absolutely one that we could take off the bucket list, crumble that bad boy up, put it in the trash. Donezo. We're here. We're almost to the minute. Man, it's so close. I can taste it. And yeah, as of right now, we got zeros in the hour column. We got zeros in the minute column. We got 55 seconds left in 24-hour challenge in VR. I'm ready. I'm ready to have this thing off my face. I'm ready to wipe my face down and probably also the inside of the Quest, if I'm being honest. I'm ready to see how ridiculous my hair looks, because that for sure is going to be a thing. I'm just ready. I'm ready to see this sunrise for real. I'm ready to go hang out with my baby. I'm ready, honestly, probably for some more sleep, but I don't know how much more of that I'm going to get, which is where this Red Bull comes in. Alright, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We did it.
Yay!
All right, turning this bad boy off. Oh, that's special. Oh, that's something. Right there, let's try to corral that a little bit. Wow. Everything's so HD. Is that on or off? I don't know. Oh, it's off. I turned it off. Duh. Gosh. Well, guys, that was it. 24 hours in VR. This has been Scuttlebutt VR. I have been Theron, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you appreciated going through this experience with me. And, you know, all the classic YouTube stuff. Like, share, a sub to the channel would be excellent. But no matter what, have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for being here. Oh, wow, holy crap. I actually, you know what? I want to, oh god, look at that line on my film. Look at that. Whew. Oh, yeah, that's something. That's, yeah. Here, close this real quick.
What?
Yeah, you can just hear the showers.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah, alright, we did it, but you know what? It's literally 8 in the morning. Time is an illusion. I just got out of the Matrix. We're doing a celebration shot. We're doing this thing. I've got just enough left. Just enough left in the bottle to do it. Oh, look at that hair. That's something. Face marks. Oh, God, it feels so good to touch my face. Oh, it's so nice to touch my face. Alright, guys. Well, like I said, thank you so much for watching the live stream and going on this 24-hour journey with me. Thank you for all of the incredible birthday wishes. And, as always, typical YouTube stuff. You know, if you could like this, you watch our other videos. Give a sub to the channel if you like what we're doing. It's seriously hugely helpful to have us keep creating content like this. But most of all, just have a freaking wonderful day. You absolute legend. Cheers, we did it.